If I can just jump in, because you've nailed, I think, two of the essential key factors in development of leadership and management. The first factor you mentioned is you had a fairly extensive technical education, which is valuable, gave you a framework to understand probably a fairly difficult studies. But as soon as you moved upward or into reality, you realized that's what we call the I development. I don't know if you remember, right? They have the I development. You start at the bottom and you kind of work up. And then somewhere along the line, somebody came up to you and said, okay, but if you want to move forward now, you have to have a horizontal development, kind of that T development, where you realize that your technical background is only going to get you so far. It can help you to understand other things, but you're going to have to know something about people, about leadership, about communication, about processes, about quality, about legal, about all different things that you didn't really actually study. So you learn that life is a mixture of different things, which I think is valuable. Great. So you move forward, and you were talking about, and the other thing you mentioned is that there are different management styles.
Definitely. Yes.
Okay.
And different successful management styles. And this was so impressive for me because what happened then is the last ownership I was aware of, there was the company was sold to a financial investor.
Okay.
And this was again a completely different culture, because only money is
it was all about the KPIs.
You reduce the marketing budgets, the HR budgets. You're just making the bride pretty to sell it again. Okay. And this was the time where I decided, oh, this is not the culture I want to work for. And parallel to this, I started a life counseling education. Okay. It's a 2.5 years, 3 years education in Austria. It's between coaching and therapy. Yeah. So quite intensive.
And actually Austrians are, and also Germans have a long-standing history with this. You don't see this so much in the United States. This is really, Austrians and Germans love to take whatever it is. If it's becoming an electrician, there's a 3-year education program. If you become anything, any vocation or any profession requires you an extensive. And I think that's great that in Austria, there's different versions. There's Systemica, there's life coaches. Yes. And yours was called?
It's a life counseling. It's a Lebensberater.
Yeah.
So where you deal with really difficult,
life coach.
Yeah, life coach, where you really learn to deal with difficult situations in life. Like you're losing your job, you don't have any money anymore, or illness or whatever, and how to accompany people through these phases. And there I get in touch with process communication model. Okay. And I was so fascinated because, as you know, as an HR guy, I think all of the HR guys out in the world knows it. Every week there are at least 1 or 2 ringing the bell and say, hey, I have a cool model it's a must that you use it. Because we have a nice questionnaire, it's a nice report, and it describes everything. Yeah,
and it's a reinvention of the 105th reinvention of the wheel.
Yeah, and it was so boring because I know these people, and now I'm one of these guys who's ringing the bell.
Hopefully you're better than them.
Yeah, I hope. But the interesting thing is, I was so fascinated from PCM because it's different in a way. It works in every situation. So because it's a communication model. And this was so fascinating for me. It's not about putting people into boxes and say, hey, you're a green one and
you're a blue one, or
bad luck for you.
Or you have these
this green box. Keep there.
Or you're a DISFM.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Because PCM derives from the communication side. And we come back to this later. And it was so fascinating for me because when you deal with people, it's all about communication. Yeah. So it's not about personalities. Yeah. It's about how we deal with the personalities. Yeah. And this you can see in the one-to-one. Do we have a connection? Yes or no?